Today, I'm going to show you how to change the oil in a 2011 Jeep Wrangler. It's the 3.8 liter V6 engine. Full transparency, I was a mechanic for 5 years. I stopped being a mechanic before this was even produced. So we're going to see how it goes. Okay. Coming in from the side here. This is going to fly a little bit. Let's see if we can catch this. I really got this sucker on there. So I'm gonna try this old school trick I haven't done in a while. A way to get more leverage is kind of connect one wrench to the other. Still not gonna budge. Already not going as planned. Oh God. Okay. All right. There we go. That was a little scary. What's unfortunate is this is my own vehicle, and that drain plug should never be that tight. I forgot a rag. Okay. Now, got some rags here. We'll see. We know. Oh, look now, it comes out so freely. Amazing. You should have eye protection on, especially on a windy day. The fact that there's no oil, that's what it's dripping out a little bit. Ready, and remove it fast. Okay. And now we just let this drain. With one thing that you would want to look for, different vehicles have different gaskets on the drain plug. And sometimes you gotta examine the little gasket. A lot of them are like a composite or some type of rubber or plastic. Some of them are metal, but sometimes, depending on the mechanic too, there might be some residue on here. You wanna make sure that that's smooth, that there's nothing that is going to be in between the seal, the drain plug, and the oil pan. And then make sure the same also on the drain plug itself. It seems rudimentary, but I worked with plenty of mechanics that did not care. We'll put that on. And you know, you're probably not gonna get a blown engine because of it, but might get a slow leak. Over the course of an oil change, maybe you lose like half a quarter or something. But why? Why even do that when you could just verify? All right, so here's what you do. A little bit of oil on the threads. Put that sucker back in there. It's tight. Clean that off. I mean, if you can avoid it, you know, why let a bunch of oil get on your tools? Yeah. We're gonna go ahead and move this stuff up there. Well, I get a little bit of leverage. We can make sure this mofo is tight. Got something tickling my leg. What the hell? What's a bug or bee? All right. That's good. Moving on. We're now here on top. See, we got down in here, if you can see that yellow oil filter. So we gotta make sure our pan is gonna be underneath that, and we're probably gonna attack this from the top. There we are. Ready, Teddy. Lefty loosey. Let's see here. You can see that we're just loosening this bad boy until we can get it with our finger. All right. Should be good, and there should be a little bit draining down in there at this point as well. All right, if you can see that, we're going ahead. But that drain looks like it's hitting dead on. So the idea is to not spill all the engine oil on these components. I bought some brake clean if it does happen. It's inevitable, but it looks like for this Jeep, the oil doesn't hit anything on the way down, so we'll let as much of it drain as possible before taking this filter all the way off. One other thing is make sure, if at all possible, you can wait till the engine's cool. Otherwise, these filters, when you take them off, are going to be hot as balls. This one's warm, but it's not scalding. And then make sure there's this black ring. And if you've watched any oil change videos before, you've seen this before, make sure you watch out for it. Because I have seen professional mechanics, you know, they'll go loopy for one day, they'll get kind of numb to checking this stuff, and they'll double gasket a filter. And worse than a drain plug gasket is this will leak pretty fast. And so make sure you got the gasket here. We do on this one, so we're good to go. And one thing we're not going to do when we put the oil filter on is use that oil filter plier tool. And trust me, I've seen that too. So we're just gonna hand tighten it, use our baby strength, and let's get that going. Oh, and then for Jeeps, actually pretty cool. There's so much room in the engine bay, you can actually see up in there. See where the oil filter goes? Well, you can make sure that there's no oil filter gasket on there, because you never know. You might have pulled an oil filter where the previous mechanic did double gasket and it didn't leak profusely. And I've seen that too. So there's some crazy stuff to look out for. Always double check your work. If you're gonna do this, it's gonna take you, I don't know, 30 minutes, an hour. But your engine is worth more than that amount of time, even if you feel like your time's worth $50,000 an hour. You know, if you're doing this, do it right, okay? All right. Got the new oil filter. Honestly, I didn't want Fram, I wanted Mobile One. I just didn't want to ask at Advanced Auto Parts what the part number is for Mobile One. They only had the Fram catalog out there, so I picked that up. Let's hope it fits. I don't know if there's any difference. I just trust Mobile One. I got Mobile One oil. I wanted to keep it consistent, but we are where we are. So first thing, if you put the oil filter on without lubing it up, this gasket will almost certainly stick next time. So you always want to lube up the filter with a little bit of just the old oil. It's fine. You could do new oil, but it doesn't matter. So just lube it up a little bit so you know when you're kind of torquing it down that it's getting as tight as you think and as tight as it needs to be. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and grab some from the pan underneath. All it takes is a little dollop, you know. Just a little dollop of Daisy. Anybody remember those? Was that sour cream? Dollop of Daisy. All right, now the thing is, I can see it from here. Okay, cool. I'm gonna stand up. Good thing my wife got this Jeep with a rack on the front that I can stand on. Okay. I should have been doing this with my left hand, but the thing is, my right hand's already oily. My left one's not really that oily. I'm gonna find a place I can brace. I hope I got the right filter. All right, so tore my MFing gloves. Luckily, we're pretty much done at this point. All right, so you see, new bright orange filter down there. It's on, looks good. It's tight. And I like to do it double hand tight, I'll be honest. Sometimes I probably make them too tight, but I'm not using a socket in the cup thing. But I have seen where if you just single tight, a lot of people like, you know, it's snug and then crank, one hand. Depends how strong you are. you know, but I've never over tightened one so it wouldn't come off. And when you take them off, especially something like this, easy location. I'm going to use the tool anyway. Never not gotten an oil filter off, so make sure it's tight. You can do the two hand, you can do the one hand, whatever you want. I'm just saying this is what I do, and I feel better about it. Okay, so now everything's drained. I'm gonna go ahead and spray a little bit of brake cleaner down there just to make sure, so I can see if anything's leaking. Otherwise, I might just see some old oil that was already dripping down. Think I got a leak, maybe I don't. So I'm gonna check that, and then we're gonna go ahead and put oil in it before we start it. To do it. All right, so we're just gonna here. You see how I got a little bit of caramely color there at the bottom, and bing bang boom. How much oil? It said 6 quarts. Let me double verify. Maybe in the owner's manual will be a good idea. You want to be precise. I mean, you only got what, 1, 2, 3 cars you're doing this to? Know how much. All right, we're back, and I looked it up, and yes, 6 quarts. So we're gonna go ahead and pour the sucker in. We have a beautiful funnel here. Hopefully we don't need it. We're gonna use it. And I like to think that I'm skilled enough to pour this oil straight in there without spilling any of it. But I got the funnel because I am not very confident in those abilities of myself. So we're gonna, oh yeah, the old knuckle bust. Okay. Now, when you pour oil, depending on what kind of car you have, it's gonna go into the oil hole, the valve cover, quicker on some cars than others. They have baffles, and sometimes it gets loaded up and you will end up just overflowing it, not really pouring it hard at all. So just know your car. Go slowly at first and see if it's like puddling up there and coming back up the funnel or something. All right, but this seems like we're in there pretty good. Can we do it? Okay. Looking good. Oh man. Can you hear that? I've never heard that before, honestly. I don't know if it's always because I've been changing oil in a shop. There's just other noises going on. But I'm hearing this like drain all the way down. It's like dropping. It feels like, it sounds like the bottom of a rain gutter. But this doesn't fill up too fast. And I think we're on, the funnel is doing the trick here. So grab yourself a decent funnel, maybe even if you don't need it. Prevent you from spilling oil everywhere. Like for multiple reasons, not just the normal funnel reasons, but just so you don't fill too fast and it starts coming up the actual oil fill hole. The downside is it takes forever. If this sucker requires so much oil, we gotta get our 6th quart here. And I'll tell you, these are about $12 a quart if you buy them one by one, but if you buy the 5 quart first, it was $39. So definitely buy the 5 quart, even if you only need 4, because you're gonna get a better deal. You're gonna have some left over. And then just buy these as you need a couple more. So I know they design it that way, but I also know I've not done that in the past, thinking, I don't really need the big drum. Well, it was the same price, and in the end, I wish I would have had it anyway. All right. So that's all she wrote there. We're full. That's what she calls for. I probably should have gone with like 5 quarts and then filled as we go. Hopefully I drained all the oil. I got, all right, so make sure everything's good. Drain plug, filter, cap. We're good, let's go start this bad boy. We good? Let the sucker run. About like 20 or 30 seconds. Not too long at all. Let the oil flow through a little bit. Make sure the oil's filling up the filter and we're running through. No noises, no ticks. We're going to turn it off now. Okay. Oh, it's ideal, you know, if your vehicle is level. If not, whatever. Do what you can. Wipe that oil off first. Plug it back in. You can hit the hole. Where my player's at. Okay. And now we sitting. And my gosh, just beautiful. You can't even see it. That's how clean the oil is going through the engine, which is good. When you change the oil and it comes up still like really dark like that old oil was, you probably didn't get a lot of oil out or all of the old oil. So you want it to look just like brand new, fresh. All right, there we go. Start up Jeep. Oh man, you sound glorious. First things first, drain plug. Alright, so oil change successful. Alright, that's changing the oil. 2011 Jeep Wrangler, a sport top.